Hi, welcome to Positively Sparking, a podcast on internet marketing, online productivity and business. Today I'm with Joe Harrison, expert VA and client manager at Positive Sparks. It's the first podcast of 2018 and we're going to give you our top apps for the first month of January. Hi Joe, Happy New Year. Welcome to the podcast again in 2018.
Hi Phil, yeah, Happy New Year. I can't believe it's already the new year. Well, we're nearly at the end of the month.
Well into the new year.
Yeah. And congratulations on the new arrival.
Thank you very much. It's been some time and that's why. Your life has taken a great change and, all is wonderful and all is an adventure with all the highs and lows of any great story so far. So the good news about this, of course, is giving you loads of time to find great apps for the podcast.
It has, yeah. Heads down, yeah. Looking for new.
Are you feeling pretty confident about yours today?
Yes, they're two great apps. One of which I've been using for quite a while, and the other one is I only started using it this week.
Okay, so quite new on that front.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think without further ado, let's push into 2018 podcasting. What's your first app, Joe?
Okie doke. Well, my first app this month is called Timing. And I think we did this on a podcast quite early on. But since then, it's been upgraded. It's now called Timing 2. And it's an app for a Mac. And it basically keeps track of all of how you spend your time basically on your computer every day. So it's very similar to things like Rescue Time, that also tracks what you're doing. But the difference with Timing 2 is I can set up projects within it in all nice lots of colours. I like pretty colour things. And so I've got a project for each client that I work with, and then as you use it more, it gets in tune with how you're working, and it knows when I'm doing a certain thing, it goes into a client project. So at the start, you do quite a lot of manipulation and making sure that you're putting the right tasks into the right clients. And then gradually it does it for you automatically. And it gives you lots of graphs and you can download reports. And it's a good way of me not having to click like a time tracking timer anymore. So I've stopped using Harvest, which I was using, and I'm using this as my time tracking app because it just collects all the data without me having to click stop and start, which is really brilliant.
Wow. So, we're all using Toggl, as you know, in Positive Spark. So what this literally does for you, instead of having to start your timer in Toggl, it just happens.
Yeah. And what I can do, I'm still in the learning stage, even though I've been using this for probably about 6 weeks now. When you go in to review what you've done over the day, it comes up. It shows you what you've been doing in like a strip of colours for the different projects, and then it kind of collects some of those together, and it says you can add a task, so you can go back in there at the end of the day and click, oh well, I can add this as a certain task that I've done. So you can actually keep track of tasks as well. So I can click it, and I have been, when I'm doing specific tasks for a client, I will click it and put what task I'm doing, just for a reminder really, because otherwise at the end of the week I'll go on there and it will say, oh, I've done 5 hours for Positive Spark, but it won't tell me what I've done unless I drill down into it. So adding the tasks at the end of each day, or as I do them, it makes it a lot clearer at the end of the week when I'm kind of putting my time into client timesheet.
Very good. So when you compare this with Toggl, how much time do you think it saves you over having to enter something every time?
To be honest, at the moment, because I'm still recording tasks manually when I start them, if I remember. But I think once I've got it to a point where it's going to record these things automatically for me and I don't need to worry too much, it will save me loads of time. At the moment, the problem is I'm still in the honeymoon period with it, so I'm always clicking on it to see how it's recording things and to see whether it's recording the things in the right place, and also to look at the pretty graphs that it gives you. So it's probably not saving a lot of time now. And the good thing on there though is you can set each project to a different productivity level. So for example, for web browsing, I can set that to unproductive time, or social media, I can set that to unproductive project, and it will give me a score throughout the day how my productivity is going. So over the last few weeks of January, my productivity has been pretty high. It's been up in the 80% area. But this morning I had a bit of a dip in my productivity and I was a bit all over the place, and it dipped down to 69%, which was it's a bit of a shock.
So what happened on that day?
This morning.
It was this morning, okay.
Yeah, this morning when I started work, I was like all over the place, like had emails, had Slack messages, and I hadn't kind of focused in on what I was going to do. So I came into it and just dealt with like firefighting stuff. Whereas normally I'm quite good at organising what I'm going to do when I start work, and I hadn't done that.
So that is almost a podcast in itself that we'll have to do sometime. So you mentioned something really great there about coming into work and firefighting versus planning what you're going to do, and having a set outcome that you want.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And what happens when you do when you end up firefighting? What happens, and more importantly, what doesn't happen when you end up doing that?
Exactly, and I think this app is really good for me. I don't know whether it worked for anyone else, but because that score, it sits up in my taskbar at the top, tells me how long I've been at my computer, and in brackets it's got the percentage, and it's currently at 73%. So I have improved since this morning.
Well done.
Because it gave me, when I looked up, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do some work now to try and boost my score before the podcast.
Brilliant. See, that appeals to me too. So that sort of competitive metric, which tells you whether you're being on form today or you're being an idiot, whichever it may be.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good thing, isn't it, to see? Interesting.
It's motivating.
So is this going to become your time tracking app?
Well, yeah, it is actually now. I've still got Harvest, and what I've been doing at the end of each day to make it easier for me at the end of the week when I put my time into spreadsheets for clients is I've been adding the tasks that I've done in Harvest, so that I can quickly just look in there. But hopefully, as I get sort of improve with this, there are reports and things as well with timing too, and I'm hoping that I won't have to use Harvest anymore. I can just use timing and just run off the report.
Fantastic. Yeah. I look forward to getting my report.
Okay, I'll test it on you.
Brilliant. So where can we find this app, Jo?
You can find it at timingapp.com.
Timingapp.com.
I think there is a free trial. And if you're upgrading from Timing 1, I suppose, you get a discount on Timing 2. The cost, when I bought it, I got a discount because I already had Timing 1, but the cost for productivity plan is €29. Oh, this is in euros because I'm in France. €29, which is the basic one, and then you've got the professional plan, which is €49, which is the one I've got.
Very good. Very interesting app.
It is very good.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Well, both of my apps this week end in .io. I think it's the first time that's ever happened. Coincidence?
I don't know what IO stands for.
Do you know, I did and I've forgotten. So now, live on a podcast, I'm showing how much my life change has affected my brain.
Yeah.
So the first one I want to tell everybody about is one called Dictation.io.
Mm-hmm.
And it very, very simply does exactly what you might expect it to do. So you visit that site and instantly you can dictate something to the app that operates on the site and have it converted into speech. So
Okay.
the first thing I like about it, there's nothing to download. It can be done very quickly. So often in what we do, Joe, I have a browser open anyway, which is just sitting there. And given that I have a lot less time than I used to, the ability to dictate something is becoming a little bit more important for me, especially when it's converted into words. So, number one, the ease of getting to this site is a great thing. The fact it operates from a browser makes it very simple. And then what I found for myself, because I have like a northern accent, a soft voice, mixed in with other things I've picked up in other parts of the world I've lived in, most dictation packages struggle. They don't know where I'm from, you know?
Okay.
But this one seems to do okay. And
Wow.
barring words which would be very difficult for any dictation package to recognise, it does pretty good.
So have you tried this and then sent it to us in Slack?
Yeah.
And have we gone, what on earth are you talking about?
Well, most of the messages, I mean, the ones I do in Slack are pretty small anyway, aren't they? Yes, no. Or a couple of sentences. So it's done pretty well on those.
Okay.
And then even longer emails. Like right now, I'm drafting a long email with a proposal on. So it's even done probably 90% of that very, very well. And then the other 10% are those things that would be tough for any dictation package to recognise. The kind of words you have to teach it, I suppose. The good thing about this one is it's also free.
Oh, excellent.
So that again is an appealing thing. Now, whether that changes in the future, who knows? But if you want to do a quick bit of dictation, then I recommend you head on over there, dictation.io, and just give it a go with your voice. For you, Joe, it's also multi-language. So you could dictate in French.
If I could speak French, yeah, it would be good.
You're doing yourself a discredit there.
Well, I can type French better than I can speak it, so I'd probably struggle with the dictation.
Do you use any dictation at all?
No, not really. In fact, my next app has got a bit of dictation in it, so I'm going to hopefully start to try and do that.
Yeah, so I do quite a bit. So Evernote has a dictation extension too, and that can work pretty well also. But what I find myself doing with Evernote is recording audio.
Okay.
Above dictation, because it just struggles a bit on the dictation side for me, getting with my strange accent, and probably more so the times when I use Evernote, I'm outside with the dog, going somewhere. It's when I'm on the move.
In the wind.
In the wind, exactly, and in the crazy weather we have here in Cornwall at this time of year. So that's not fair on any dictation app, whereas this one, I guess I use when I'm safely nice and warm in my house like now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good plan.
So what's your next app, Joe?
Okay, so my next app actually is one that I've only picked up this week, and I have to say thank you to somebody for this one because she posted it in a group that I'm part of called VA Pro, and that's Joanne Sparks, who's the owner of that group. She posted it this week because it's free, or it's been free this week. I'm not sure whether it's still going to be free when this podcast goes out, so I can't promise anything. But it's called BrainToss, and you can find it at braintoss.com, or you can download it on iPhone or Android. It's basically a really simple app, and it captures your to-dos, I suppose. So you can dictate to it, so you can do a voice message to it, and it'll email it to you in text and send you the recording as well. You can send a note to it, or you can send images to it. And what it does, it will send you an email. So I can do it in the evening, and then the next day it's in my inbox to remind me, oh yeah, I want to do that today, or I need to add that to my list, or something like that. So I've tried doing the note, which works fine. I just tried doing the dictation, the voice message, before I came on the podcast, and it didn't quite understand what I said, and I got a bit of a garbled message on my email. So I guess that's what you were saying. I think it may take time to get used to your voice and your accent. But it sends the voice message. It sends the audio as well. So even if it doesn't quite get it in text, it may get it in the voice recording. But I think it's really good, and it's something that I've been thinking this morning that I could probably tie it up to my Todoist, because there's an email address on Todoist. I could probably send my notes or my images or something to Todoist directly, so they go straight into my To-Do app. But I've not tried that yet. That was just a thought I had this morning. So I mean, this works with Evernote and Trello, according to the website. So it's obviously possible to connect it up to those two. But obviously with something like Zapier, I don't know whether it's on Zapier, but it might be. Obviously the options are endless with this sort of thing.
Sounds good, and you said I would like this one, and I did when you sent me it over as a link. Yeah, because I have this problem all the time. I'm in the middle of nowhere and I get an idea. What do I do? So I like the sound of it. So when you were talking there about sending that to Todoist, I used to do that when I was on Todoist more than I am now. And it worked really well. Like Todoist, I still think has the best form of task management out there.
Yeah,
definitely. It's really good. So I think you should try that. I think that will be another great step for you in using that app. The Evernote connection might be the same, because you can also email things to Evernote too. And they link in there using the same kind of idea in Evernote's email.
Yeah.
Does it cost something?
Well, I got it for free, and I just had a look on the price before I came on the podcast, but because I've already downloaded, it doesn't tell me what the price is. So I clicked on the Android for Google, and it comes up as $1.99. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be about the same for the iPhone app as well. So it's not too bad. And the other thing is you can scan receipts and business cards and stuff, which you may need for obviously expenses purposes and stuff like that. So and I think that might be like a what are they called, in-app purchase type thing. But yeah, I've not explored it completely. It is a very basic app. It also looks like on the picture on the website that you can have it on your smartwatch as well. So if you have a smartwatch, that would be cool.
Very good. Like it. It's a bit of a strange name, isn't it?
Yeah, I keep calling it Brain Dash, but it's actually Brain Toss.
Need to be careful with that second word. Has a different meaning in the UK.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably why I didn't think it was that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think the only problem for you, if you were to use this, is it may get lost in your inbox.
Yeah, sure. And I think that is the problem for any
and
kind
that's
of.
For
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It's. Do you see it? You know, have you missed it? And it needs to go somewhere. You know, this is really something I'm sort of tackling in my own mind now, because we've gone into Zenkit in the last couple of months, and there are things about Zenkit I think are really good. And I know Eric and Siobhan will listen to this message here and come back and tell us what we're doing wrong. Who knows? But I do find for everyday task management, they're just a little bit behind Todoist.
Yeah.
So it's how you've gone back to Todoist for your regular tasks, and I totally get why you've done that. At the same time, I find that my heart is with Zenkit because I like the other things it offers, but I keep missing things.
Yeah, no, and I think they've not sorted out the recurring tasks on there yet, and a lot of my tasks are recurring. So yeah, for one-off tasks, it's fine, but as long as you've kind of checking it. Whereas with Todoist, it will send me a reminder if I put a reminder on it, and that sort of thing. So yeah, you do need like a way of things reminding you. That's basically what we need, is reminders constantly.
That's it. So we free up our brain. Is exactly what Brain Toss is trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. Cool. So where can we find that, Joe? Did you give the address already?
Yeah, it's braintoss.com.
Nice and easy. Perfect. So my second app is one that probably has a very niche market because it's really for web marketeers.
Okay.
And it's called Funalytics. It's funalytics.io. And this is a new app that tries to help us visualize a marketing funnel. So a marketing funnel, for those who haven't done one, is the method we employ to take someone who's brand new to a brand or a product or a service and gradually show them what we offer, give them the opportunity to become a customer, and after they do become a customer, follow up to continue their journey with our business. It's that whole process. How do we attract people? How do we communicate with them once we've attracted them? And how do we help them become customers and product ambassadors from there on in? So what I like about it is right now it's free because it's a new product and it's there to test. And it very quickly lets you draw a flowchart of how you're going to reach out to new customers and bring them through into your business. Now, what's good about that is when we put something down visually, I often find it helps me see other things. So give me other ideas, or here's something else we could try and test, or here's an area that we haven't thought about enough and we're not considering how we're going to reach out. Like remarketing, for example, is a great point where this might happen, where we think, okay, we want to reach these people again, give them the opportunity to revisit our site if they came once and disappeared. But is it just everybody, or do we want to split those visitors down into different kinds? And then the third thing, which is quite interesting about Funalytics, is what they have coming out at the end of the month is the ability to connect your visual chart with something like Google Analytics and actually see percentages of people who flow through your visual representation of your marketing. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, definitely.
So what it would mean for us, if we have funnel charts for a couple of clients, we could set them up and then see visually how they're working.
Wow.
Quite an interesting app. There's also a really good Facebook group that supports the app with all kinds of great ideas on what kinds of funnels to build for different types of businesses. And actually, more than that, entrepreneurial tips.
Cool.
So recommend, worth checking out. Recommend two things, connect with the group, go to the app in your browser, sign up and give it a go. Quite an interesting little app out there, which is doing something that others don't. I think there are lots of drawing programs which help us visually do things we want to present. But because this one is 100% focused on web marketing funnels, it has things that other ones don't.
Yeah, definitely. No, I've not worked a lot with funnels apart from with you. So it's new to me, really. So I'll have a look at that.
Very good. Excellent. So what's going to be your app of the month, Jo? First one of 2018.
Well, it's going to have to be timing too for me.
Thought it might be.
Yeah, definitely that one. It's keeping me on my toes. It's made me really productive in January. Really productive.
I have to say I've noticed you're on fire.
Well, maybe it's just because I got so much work. I have to be.
Which is a good thing too. So mine is going to be Funalytics.
Okay, cool.
Because I can see where they're going. I like where they're going, and I want to see if they can get there.
Excellent. Well, I'll definitely check that one out. And the Facebook group. I do like joining all these Facebook groups.
I do recommend that one. It's a very, very good one indeed. So, let me know what you think of it. Because as someone who's new to funnels, it'd be interesting to see if you find it as supportive and interesting as I do.
Yeah. Cool.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for being here as always.
No problem.
This podcast was brought to you by Positive Sparks, online advertising and pay-per-click agency for UK e-commerce businesses. If you would like 3 free tips on how to use pay-per-click to grow your business, please visit us at 3tips.positivesparks.com today.